2 months after the sacking of Philip Clement, Rangers are no closer to appointing the next permanent manager. Welcome back to Fog Football. Oh, Barry, you know the score by now. It looks like Barry Ferguson will not be getting the Rangers job, but we'll get to his odds in a little bit. But starting in last spot...
Well, here, no closer to appointing a new manager, no closer to winning the league title either. In fact, they're 90 minutes away from losing it.
90 minutes, man, I'd say about 10 seconds. But let's begin in last spot here. Wayne Rooney, Waza. Now, you know what? This guy's out of a job. He's failed at every job he's been at. I am absolutely flabbergasted that Bet365's got him as like the least favourite for this job, because you know what? He needs Rangers a lot more than Rangers needs him. Like, this is almost like,
Wayne Rooney would never go there.
Yeah, and then you look next to him.
Is it not more of a case that Rangers would never want him?
It could be, but then you look next to him, Jurgen Klopp. What's more likely to happen?
Yeah, obviously Wayne Rooney's a lot more likely to pop up at Ibrox.
So what we're saying here, the 66-1, do not bet any of these two. And then another guy...
Maybe what they mean is Jurgen Klopp's way too good and Wayne Rooney's way too shite. I mean, it could be something.
It could be that. Right up next, Alan Pardew. When was the last time he managed? I know he's on TalkSport.
Yeah, I think Alan Pardew's been out of a job for close to a decade now.
Yeah.
Listen, he's the kind of guy that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, any sort of job opened up in a Premiership team or perhaps even like a Championship team, you know, he was going to be there or thereabouts. There was a lot of managers like him. He was like your Sam Allardyce and your Alan Kirbishley and all those guys, and who's that other umbrella, Fanny?
Steve McClaren?
Aye, you know, those kind of guys just, they were just in there to take jobs, really, weren't they?
What about Stuart McCall?
What about him?
50-1.
I would say he's the most likely guy to get it so far.
Scott Parker?
McCall's got the Scotland connection. Maybe Scott Parker. You know what? I'd say Scott Parker's more likely than McCall.
Ryan Mason?
No, you've lost me there. Former Spurs man?
Aye.
Is that the guy that ended his career early?
Aye, I think he's playing for Hull, isn't he? Against Chelsea.
No.
That's probably about 10 years ago, by the way.
Right,
what about Rob Edwards?
I'm going to say no.
Right, Neil McCann.
No, because he's like Barry's number 2. And
it would be very weird if he took it for under Barry.
I just don't see a world where like, yeah, Barry, it's not you, but Neil McCann is you.
I know why it's not going to happen, because it kind of would have to be the 49ers making this decision. I just don't see how they would pick McCann when he's been working under Barry.
Unless McCann comes out with like the biggest sabotage of all time and like basically says, here, I'm the reason for all the good results against Celtic and the European stuff, and Ferguson's the reason for all the shite.
Yeah.
You know, it would be like a big betrayal job or something like that, I think, for Neil McCann. Listen, I'd say Neil McCann is the least like. I'd say there's more chance of Klopp getting it, purely for the reason is it would, not to be grim, it would take Barry Ferguson to die or something, or for Barry Ferguson to have to step away from football for something.
Aye.
And Neil McCann to just obviously get pushed up. But I think the chances of Barry Ferguson getting it are slim. And if Barry Ferguson, for whatever reason, had to walk away from football, then I just do not see them going with Neil McCann. Could they be?
It would happen. Neil McCann
I think
would
they
have
could keep him as a number 2. Yeah, Barry Ferguson would need to leave now. And then Neil McCann would need to come in and win the Europa League. I mean, could I see Neil McCann being kept as a number 2? Potentially.
Right, Eric Ten Hag, 50-1.
Yeah, I mean, United done him a lot of damage, but you could argue they've done a lot of managers a lot of damage.
Duncan Ferguson, no, he's no good enough. As much as I would like him to be in the dressing room to batter people who would deserve it,
he could be the enforcer, couldn't he?
Aye, could be. Up next, Stuart Kettlewell. If a guy can't stick it at Motherwell, he's not going to stick it in Glasgow.
Yeah, listen,
so let's just move on.
I mean, come on. If this guy is getting abuse, right, and listen, I'm not saying managers should get abuse. Not nice. But see if you get into football and you're at a top club, or you're a manager, or you're a star player, I mean, you have to expect, see if you don't deliver results, the fans are going to get on your butt. You're getting paid good money for that responsibility. It's like high-paying jobs tend to have like a lot of pressure with them. Yeah. And you do have to make sacrifices, and you do have to work hard, and you might have to put up with shit you don't want to. Like, I mean,
it's like being a delivery driver and you can't drive. You know what I mean? It's like reel it in.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, if this guy couldn't handle the pressure and demands at Motherwell, and if he couldn't handle the Motherwell fans unhappy with results and unhappy with a style of football, then you would wonder how he would possibly
And
survive at Rangers.
another key thing is at Motherwell, it's just Motherwell fans. At Rangers, it's like Rangers fans and everyone else. You know what I mean? It's not just your own club.
And then if he does good, he's gonna have Celtic fans hating on him. So
Exactly.
it's like,
Right, Stephen Davis 40-1, Kevin Thompson 40-1, and Gio Van Bronckhorst 40-1. So we've got a whole host there of 40-1s, firing Gary O'Neill at 40-1, and Davy Weir at 40-1. So a lot of former Rangers men at 40-1. Right, Gio's no getting the job, right? Stephen Davis saying Davy Weir looks like he could be coming back to Rangers, but it wouldn't be as a manager, it'd be as like sporting director or something, which I
can I just ask why Gio wouldn't get the job?
That ship is sailed. I mean, you never really bring him back a manager unless he done stuff with you, and he's winning the Scottish Cup. But there's no define goes against Gio, right? It's the fact he threw away the league. Yes, Ange's team was very good, right? And yeah, Gio won a Scottish Cup and he got us to a Europa League final, but that's all he did, you know what I mean? See if he won the Europa League.
He only got us to Europe, that's all he did. That's difficult.
It is difficult, but Barry Ferguson could win the fucking thing and nobody wants him. You know what I mean? It's
true.
It's just how the cookie crumbles. Slavica Jovankovic is 33-1. Slaven Bilic is 33-1. Everyone at 33-1. Let's just go through them. Philip Coco, Michael Carrick, Liam Rosenar, Knutson, Hodgman, Ismari Shari, I believe is that the current assistant? Gareth Southgate, Frank Lampard, Eden Terzic, David Wagner, Danny Roll, Brian Prisky.
David Wagner, no one's still game.
Sounds like it. Robert Wagner.
That's the one, right?
Jesse Marsh, Gattuso, Derek McKinns, Sean Dyche, Rafa Benitez, Muzcat, Jimmy Thielen. Who's sticking out there? Apparently Gattuso's no getting it. I wouldn't really want Sean Dyche. Derek McKinns is doing himself no favours with this current stint at Kelly. This season's been a mess.
I just think that if Rangers were going through this last season, those odds on McInnes, I think, are minimum at least slashed in half.
Yep.
And I think they're actually more. I think they'd be about 71, 8-1.
Well, I'm pretty sure Derek McKinns was about those odds when Beale got sacked last season.
Yeah, I mean, like,
right,
McInnes would love the job. I'm sure he wouldn't turn it down this time. But
Jose Mourinho 12-1. I tell you what,
Mourinho
that's quite high.
Mourinho has said in the past that he would love to manage in Scotland. Now, just due to the circumstances and Celtic being the dominant team, Celtic being in the team in the Champions League, Celtic being the team with money and just being far superior to Rangers in terms of success, winning trophies, you name it.
That's brilliant.
To me, I always thought that Celtic were the only realistic option for Jose Mourinho. I just never really seen the guy coming in and going to Rangers because of his dominance and gap that Celtic have had. However, having said that, I think with the San Francisco 49ers coming in and maybe Rangers potentially getting money, and we've also seen that Mourinho, unlike a lot of managers, he isn't afraid to go to a league and not take over like the team that isn't the best. Like we've seen him manage Spurs, we've seen him manage Roma. You know, these are pretty good teams, but not the best teams in his league. So that would maybe tell me that if the money was right and the offer was right,
for the drama alone,
I think he'd take it.
It's box office, man.
I think Mourinho would come to Rangers.
No, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Barry, he's up next 12-1. Those odds of he was 4-1 a couple of weeks ago. So people don't think Barry can get the job.
If Rangers go through against Bilbao, those odds will be cut, I guarantee.
Right,
it.
Marco Rose is 10-1. Russell Martin's 4-1. Who why? Absolute shite bastard. Played like one game for Rangers. I want him nowhere near my club. And Steven Gerrard 1-2.
Yeah, Russell Martin 4-1 is strange. But for me, Gerrard I think when there's so many names in the hat for this job, and there's like no links or no clues or no hints or suggestions that they're even talking to Gerrard at the moment, 1 to 2 is that's extremely short odds, which would tell me that maybe there is something going on in behind the scenes.
Not really sleep, nah.
I know that Gerard is currently out of a job. To me, he's not 1 to 2 unless there's something happening.
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance Gerard takes the job. And of course I would take him.
Would Gerard keep Barry as number 2, or do they bring Beale back? Is Beale allowed back?
I don't think Beale's allowed back.
No.
But then again, the Beale's best. People will. Well, I mean, obviously he helped win. I mean, was as a number 2. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes, guys. But in terms of Rangers, I mean, it could literally be anybody on this list. You just don't know how it's going to go. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below and peace.